NXT TakeOver 25 takes place this Saturday in Bridgeport, Connecticut at the Webster Bank Arena. And this is the first TakeOver in about 3 years. The last one was NXT TakeOver The End that took place at Full Sail. The first TakeOver that has not preceded a WWE pay-per-view. So every TakeOver since then has been before a major show, whether it be one of the Big Four pay-per-views or one of the shows in the summer, whether it be Money in the Bank or Backlash. This is the first independent TakeOver, and that's a big thing because we're going to see the NXT brand on its own. And from what I've heard, the ticket sales are good, and they're in a city where it's Connecticut. I mean, the state of Connecticut. I mean, it's not a. I know it is. That's where WWE headquarters are, but Connecticut sucks. Let's be real. And they don't want to call this NXT TakeOver Bridgeport, so they just call it 25 instead. Because this is the 25th TakeOver. It's the 26th NXT special event, if you count Arrival. This is the 25th show. And we have 5 matches, as usual. And what I look on this show is I see something where this isn't necessarily meant to be a major TakeOver, because usually the show in June isn't necessarily built up as much as the WrestleMania one and the SummerSlam one, but what I see here is a card that could be the greatest TakeOver of all time, and I can't even rank all the TakeOvers. Every single one of them have been amazing. The last couple years, they're just incredible. They're just amazing shows. The last TakeOver in New York was unreal. It's between that and the New Orleans show from last year's WrestleMania. Last 2 WrestleMania TakeOvers has the best TakeOver they've ever done, but they've been insanity. You just have great shows. The War Game shows, the SummerSlam Brooklyn shows were always great. It's ridiculous. The Chicago shows. Here, this could be a special show because I see about 2 matches that could be like 5-star matches. That's the ladder match and the Gargano Cole rematch. So anyway, let's start off from the bottom of the first non-title match. I think will probably be, not this won't open the show, probably be the second match. Usually open it with the tag titles, but let's start with this. You have Matt Riddle against Roderick Strong. So they're teasing dissension in the Undisputed Era. No one wants to say that. Everyone loves the Undisputed Era as a team, but they're teasing that. I think Roderick Strong's going to lose for sure. I cannot imagine Matt Riddle losing to Roderick Strong. He just lost to the Velveteen Dream last pay-per-view, and he lost on a roll-up. It wasn't a decisive finish. I cannot imagine them beating Matt Riddle again. And Matt Riddle should be the top guy in NXT. He could be the top guy in the whole company once he comes to the main roster if they really get behind him. He has everything. He's a superstar. I cannot imagine him losing to Roderick Strong. So Matt Riddle wins easily here. Next, the NXT North American Championship. This is another lock. You have the Velveteen Dream against Tyler Breeze. I don't see Tyler Breeze winning. This could be a surprise. I would be stunned. I don't see it. I don't know what Tyler Breeze's future is with the company. I would probably assume that Tyler Breeze is the kind of guy similar to Ty Dillinger who probably asked for his release and then he wants to go back to NXT and Hunter allows him to go back to NXT. But I think Tyler Breeze asked for his release. I'm almost positive. I don't know that for sure. I don't have a source in WWE to say that, but my gut says he probably did, and he got sent to NXT, and he's probably happy now. Him and Velveteen Dream, they could have a very good match. Wouldn't surprise me. A lot of people have compared their gimmicks. It is similar. It should be a very fun match if Velveteen Dream isn't losing to Tyler Breeze. Velveteen Dream retains the NXT North American Championship. I don't think it makes any sense for Dream to lose to Breeze here. Next, the NXT Women's Championship. Shayna Baszler defends her title against Io Shirai. So they've done a very good job at building up this match with Baszler and Shirai because they had the thing where Shirai accidentally cost Kairi Sane the match and Kairi leaves. And if you've seen that video or I don't know if it was a video, they sent photos of Kairi Sane and Io Shirai in NXT when Kairi left. Io was devastated. Those two are really close, and I really think they should have just brought up Io Shirai with Kairi Sane as the Sky Pirates and leave Asuka as a single star. I think Asuka is a great single star. I'd love to see Asuka feud with Becky Lynch for the title. I think that'd be a great feud because Asuka beat Becky. That makes way more sense. Instead, they put Asuka with Kairi since I guess Vince McMahon looks at Japanese women as just all interchangeable. They're all the same. That's how he probably views it. Let's be real. And Io Shirai is left at NXT. And I understand Io Shirai hasn't been in NXT that long, so they might want to give her a big push. They've done it with Asuka and Kairi. They've both spent time, so maybe they want to do the same with Io. She has to pay her dues, I guess, to NXT. But Here in this match, we all know I hate Shayna Baszler's champ. It's the same shit. I don't take her seriously. Her matches are boring. They're slow. I think she's hurt the women's division more than she's helped it. I think these last couple of years, you put Io Shirai and Kairi Sane in the feud, it's amazing. They could even, why does Toni Storm have to be on the UK brand? Can't they use her on this NXT? They have so much talent. You have Bianca Belair, I like. She's a really great athlete if you saw her Combine video. They have so much stars there that, maybe not great workers, but I think they'd be more interesting. Baszler's just boring. No one cares about her. She gets heat, but it's like, I really don't care to see Baszler. We know it's there to please Ronda. She's never been a good fighter. She was average. She lost to pretty bad fighters. I watched a lot of her UFC fights. She was never any good. Why do they keep pushing her? I'm sick of seeing her, and I think she's going to retain. I think the same shit happens. Marina Shafir and Jessamine Duke interfere in this match, and Baszler keeps her belt. So I'm going with Shayna Baszler to retain her title, unfortunately. Next, the match that is going to be out of this world, the NXT Tag Team titles, which are vacant because the War Raiders, that's what they're called, vacated the titles and went to the main roster. And you have a Fatal 4-Way ladder match for the vacant titles. You have the Undisputed Era, the former champions, Kyle O'Reilly and Bobby Fish, going up against the Forgotten Sons, Wesley Blake and Steve Cutler. Wesley Blake, another former champion. He was champion with Buddy Murphy back when they were actually managed by Alexa Bliss for a few years ago. And that surprised me. Wesley Blake must have been in NXT for so long, 5-6 years now. He's been there forever. They may as well bring him up if they have nothing for the guy. You also have the team of Oney, Lorcan, and Danny Burch. If I recall, last year, I believe they had a very good match for the tag team titles against the Undisputed Era, in which they fell short. But they're a good team, too. I like them a lot. They're going to be great here. And you also have the Street Profits, Angelo, Dawkins, and Montez Ford, who are one of the favorites to win this. So I think it comes to the Street Profits or the Undisputed Era, and I'm going to go with the Undisputed Era to win. I think they're going to put the titles back on them. In NXT, I think they're going to look at who's the most over team, who's going to get the biggest reaction. The fans are going to be so pro Undisputed Era, they're going to boost Street Profits or Lorcan or Burch or Forgotten Sons probably. If they win, they might cheer them, but I think the Undisputed Era is going to get the biggest pop, and I think they're still going to keep them in NXT. I think they're going to build to the split, and I think they might want to keep the belts on him, so when one of them splits, it's a bigger thing. But I'm going to say the Undisputed Era wins. I could be wrong, but I'm going to go with O'Reilly and Fish. I really want them to win. I think they're going to win. And now, the main events. A rematch from what I thought was the greatest NXT match of all time from last TakeOver, which was in New York. You have the NXT champion, Johnny Gargano, defending his title against Adam Cole, baby. Who's winning this? Well, I know Johnny Gargano has a knee injury. Is that going to be a factor here? I think so. Here's what I think. I think Johnny Gargano is going to the main roster. Yes, I know, I'm sorry. He's getting called down to the main roster. Adam Cole wins. I could be wrong. I picked Adam Cole to win the last show, and I was dead wrong. I'm going to pick him to win here again. I could be dead wrong again. I love Gargano. I don't mind him winning, but I think Adam Cole is going to win, and I think this is going to set up the split of the Undisputed Era. I think Roderick Strong's going to turn on him. I think Cole's going to win. I think Riley and Fish are going to get tag belts. I think Strong's going to be the odd guy out, and he turns. But these two, Gargano and Cole, getting back to this main event, I have no doubt in my mind they're going to have a fantastic match. Could be as good as the last one. The last one, some people thought was the best match in NXT history. I thought it was. Some people thought the best match in WWE history, rather. I don't know if I'd go that far, but that was just a fantastic match. I loved it. It was a classic match. I think they're going to have a great match here. It's going to be hard to top because there was so much emotion in the first match. Seeing Johnny Gargano win the title was such an emotional moment for him because you've kind of been on this journey with him. Even though that match was actually supposed to just be Gargano and Ciampa, they told a really good story with Gargano getting the big moment. And I loved how that show ended with Gargano, Ciampa, and Candice, who's another underutilized female talent. I was thinking of her. I don't know why she didn't come to my mind, but Candice and the three of them embracing. That was really cool. I think Adam Cole takes it. I think he's going to win. I think it's going to be a great match. I think they're going to probably set up a trilogy, maybe in the Toronto TakeOver show for SummerSlam weekend, but I'm going to go with Adam Cole. So that's my predictions. I think New champion Adam Cole, Undisputed Era, gets the tag team titles. Shayna Baszler retains. Velveteen Dream retains. And Matt Riddle wins. So those are my predictions for NXT TakeOver 25 in Bridgeport, Connecticut this Saturday. I have no doubt in my mind this will be an amazing show, as it always is.